first explosion happened. About 10 or 15 seconds later, there was a second explosion.
Another ambulance down here at 755 Boylston.
Good morning, America. Major developments in the Boston bombings.
Police are looking for any clue that can help them solve who was behind the blast.
You could see everyone in the white suits on their hands and knees collecting the physical evidence. They were up on rooftops. They would just swarm in the area, meticulously collecting every piece of evidence. Shreds, banners, anything that could try to put this bomb and these devices back together.
The FBI actually used a satellite overhead to record precise GPS coordinates where each shred of evidence was recovered in the 24 square block crime scene.
We can pick up all the pieces of a bomb, put it back together, then start to track those components, who purchased them and where did they purchase them, and on top of that, try and get forensics off of them, hairs, fibers, fingerprints, DNA, and then really start to trace it back to the bomber. There was so much blood. There was so much devastation to human tissue and everything.
The FBI set up a giant warehouse to store and catalog each piece of physical evidence.
We actually had pieces of the backpack that were found there.
This is from the actual backpack?
The actual backpack.
The zipper is still there.
We also have bits of shrapnel from this. You can see the BBs, ball bearings, and you can see the epoxy with which they were glued together. Again, the tremendous damage they do to human flesh and human tissue.
The damage done by the BBs can be seen in the x-rays of the victims. The BBs are the little white dots.
They cut right through.
Absolutely.
More than 160 cell phones recovered from the crime scene.
They're all marked with biohazard tape. That's because most of them were found with blood on them. We had to look at every single one of these phones because at the time, initially, we didn't know if these bombs were time fused, if they were mechanically operated, or, in the case of the cell phones, could they have been cell phone detonated?
But the most important physical evidence found in the first 3 days were pieces of the pressure cookers turned into bombs.
So this was the top of the pressure cooker?
That was the top of the pressure cooker device.
From the first bomb that went off?
Exactly.
It blew sky high in the first explosion and was discovered on the roof of a nearby hotel. Even more important was the bottom of the pressure cooker.
Part of the reason why it was so important was because it had the manufacturer's name and a serial number on it. So we literally created an investigative cell right off the bat to learn everything we could about that pressure cooker or pressure cookers of that type. Who manufactures them? Where are they manufactured? How are they distributed? Where are they sold?
The FBI team tracked the pressure cooker to a Macy's store in Boston, where one person had bought 5 of them in the months before the bombing. The pressure cooker provided another clue. Al-Qaeda had produced elaborate instructions online about how to build pressure cooker bombs.
It could end up being someone else, but right now it has all the indicators in every aspect of being a Al-Qaeda or Al-Qaeda-affiliated attack.
This is a very similar device to the IEDs that we have found throughout Afghanistan used to kill our soldiers.
But while the FBI kept quiet about the evidence it was gathering, speculation and conspiracy theories took hold.
There was all kinds of misinformation flying around Boston. It was absolute chaos because for days we had been hearing rumors about a man with a baseball cap or a Middle Eastern man with a backpack, and police were just awash with rumors and stories.
Internet sleuths spotted a figure on a rooftop just as the bombs went off.
I want to ask you about a photo that everybody was emailing today. It is a man standing up on top of a roof. You see it right there. What do you know about it?
Well, it's very intriguing, but authorities here say they're giving it no special priority. It's one of many tips and leads they're following.
The New York Post published this photo of 2 young men who had been the subject of a law enforcement inquiry. The editors unaware that the FBI had already determined they were not involved.
As soon as it came out, we knew it was wrong. We knew what we had in that command post.
And then Wednesday afternoon, rumors of an arrest turned into real news stories, completely false.
One of our sources is from our national security contributor, Fran Townsend. One of the sources is a Boston law enforcement source who tells me that an arrest has been made.
All of a sudden, I started getting calls and people telling me, they got the suspects, they got the suspects. and it was absolutely false.
But it took off on social media.
Absolute positive wildfire. People were confirming it all over the place.
My mother called me. She said, "Oh, congratulations, you caught him." I'm like, no.
Your mother actually called?
Yeah, she called. Like, and my mother, she doesn't call me during the day. She knows I'm busy, but she called me. I'm like, oh, no. No, we didn't catch anyone.
But officers and agents in the field, searching for the bombers, started to wonder if they could now stand down.
I went into our operations center, got on the radio, and cleared all the channels and said that rumors of the suspects being caught are not true. Everybody continue to do what you're doing. Be careful, but the 2 suspects are back out there.
By the evening, the sobering truth of the matter was clear. The 2 actual bombers were still at large, able to attack again.
Do they think that they've gotten away with it? Do they say, geez, they don't know who I am? We have times on our side.
The older Tsarnaev, Tamerlan, was at his home in this Cambridge apartment building, where he lived with his wife Catherine and an infant daughter. An accomplished boxer, no one at his gym had any idea of what he had done. The younger Tsarnaev, Johar, went back to school at the University of Massachusetts, Dartmouth. Surveillance video shows him at the school gym the day after the bombing.
He's back at college.
Living his life, absolutely. Going to the gym, hanging out with friends.
And friends would later say he showed up to several parties that week, where he was known as a low-level marijuana dealer.
As we were trying to figure out who these guys were, where they were, we were in this frantic effort. We knew what they just had done. They were out there. They could be planning to do something else. We've got to stop these guys.
But not before there would be more bloodshed and death.
All units, respond. Officer down. Officer down. All units, officer down.